Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Capitalize Your Best Real Estate Marketing Podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan, and I'm the owner of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting, where we help you capitalize on what you do best. Let me begin, of course, by saying thank you to everyone who has been listening and watching to the podcast. It means a ton, and the podcast is gradually growing. I think this is episode 3, if I'm not mistaken, and we're doing our best to put out consistent weekly content on Wednesdays so we can help you, the real estate professional, grow your business. And by real estate professional, I'm talking about realtors, real estate agents, mortgage lenders, titles, investors, anyone involved in the real estate industry in any way. We want to help because we have been privileged at Capitalize to work with a ton of great real estate professionals in the last few years, helping them gain leads, grow their social media and marketing presence, and make more money. Now, something interesting. I recorded an entire episode and went to upload it, got it set, and then this morning I checked on it and the file was corrupted, and so I'm having to record the entire thing over again. It just happens. It's totally okay. Fortunately, I memorized the notes so I don't have to go off the cuff, because what I was talking about in that podcast and what I'd like to talk to you about today is how to decide when to invest in working with a marketing company or in coaching. Now, at Capitalize, we offer both. We offer marketing services and we also offer marketing coaches. And so I want to help you decide who is best to work with, whether you work with me or whether you work with some other folks, because there are some great marketing companies and coaches out there. So I've got 2 things when you're looking to decide in marketing services and 4 things when you're deciding in coaching. So let's hop in. Now, what I see quite often when real estate professionals hire someone to help them with the social media marketing, unfortunately, what I see is a lot of very stock content being created. In fact, it's generalized content that is used over and over again for agents or realtors. And I had someone reach out to me the other day because they were asking about our Capitalize Your Best program. And they're like, well, the content you're creating, do you create that same content for other agents? How many are they in the area? And we're like, no, we create customized content for you. And so that's my encouragement. If you are going to hire a marketing company to help you specifically with your social media marketing, you want to make sure it's 2 things. You want to make sure it's personalized and you want to make sure it's humanized. Here's what I mean. Personalized social media content means that it is distinct to you. It's not the same content used over and over and over again, given to a bunch of agents or realtors or titles in the area. It is specific to you and your brand. It's not the same picture with your logo slapped on top of it. It is something specific for you. If that's what you have to do and that's your budget, I understand it, because those services are relatively cheap and affordable, but they don't help your brand stand out in the marketplace. And standing out in a crowded marketplace is essential, especially right now in the real estate industry. So first of all, I encourage you to make sure that the content is personalized. Second, I encourage you to make sure that the content is humanized. Here's what I mean. I often see social media content for people in the industry, and there's no humanity to it. There's no faces on it that are distinct. There's not your face. It's just generalized people. Or it's just graphic after graphic after graphic, and it's not you. And so I encourage you greatly, if you're going to have content created for you, you're going to hire someone, then make sure it's humanized. Make sure you are in the pictures. Make sure people are in the pictures. Make sure there's something relatable human to human. Because if your content is not personalized to your brand, and if the content is not humanized to you, then it's so generic that it just goes right over people's feeds. People aren't going to stop and pay attention. But if you're hiring a marketing agency and you get humanized content, you get a much better chance of standing out and gaining new clients. So when you're working with a marketing agency, there's a million things to consider, but the first I encourage you to consider is this: make sure that it's personalized and humanized. Now, what about coaching services? There are some wonderful real estate related coaches out there covering lots of things. And for example, our Capitalize Your Best program is focusing on marketing. And obviously, the marketing coaching is helping you get leads and gaining revenue. So I encourage 4 things you need to look for when going with a coaching program. And out of these 4 things, I think you've got to have at least 3 of them to make the decision to make your financial investment worthwhile. Okay. So these 4 things I think every program should have, and you need at least 3 of them to go forward. Okay. Number 1, I think you need to be very clear on what content you are receiving. What is the coaching program entailing? Like, make sure, well, what do I get? What do I get for this? Do I get videos? Do I get one-on-ones? Do I get group? Do I get content? What do I get? For example, in our onboarding session, I try my best to make sure that our clients know exactly what they get. In fact, I try to make that clear even before they sign up. Recently, I had a client reach out and they're like, I don't know exactly all I get. And I was like, that's on me. Let me refresh. In fact, we had a Zoom call. We did a one-on-one. I was like, let me go through and make sure you know exactly what you get. Because if you don't know what you're going to get, then you might miss out on some aspect they offer, or you might think you're paying for something that's not included in the program, and then you'd be greatly disappointed. So 1, make sure you know what you're going to get. 2, is there a timeline? This is important. Some programs work on a timeline. You do this here, you do this here, you do this here. Others are self-paced. That's important for you to know with your personality style, because you may need to say, hey, I need a pace set for me, or you might need to say, I need to work on my own pace. For example, in the Capitalize Your Best program, it's a 12-month program. There's a nature of it being self-paced, but I have some clients who are like, create a schedule for me of working through this, and I gladly do it. And we try to make sure we end each meeting with the next meeting already scheduled. So is there a timeline? Is it set? Or is it self-paced? Very important to know, because that needs to fit your learning style to make sure the coaching program works out. Number 3, and I think this one's absolutely essential, is there a human you can speak with? I'll give you an example. I hired a coaching program in a nonprofit I was working with. And it was a 12-month program. And it had great videos and great homework, but it didn't come with a one-on-one without a lot of effort. And we'd have to call, and then finally we'd have to get one person to work with us, and they would answer our questions, but it didn't feel like I was being coached. Now, that was the nature of the program, but it didn't work well for our style. We needed someone to coach us. When you're working through a coaching program, do you get a coach? For example, in our program at Capitalize Your Best, you get at least 12 one-on-one coaching sessions, and we make sure that's known clearly, and you get access to me throughout the year. Coaching programs are most effective when you have a coach. Yes, you can learn from passive programs, but at some point in time, you need that live interaction for things to really make sense. And 4, what is the promise of the coaching program? What's the promise? What are they saying the end result is going to be? And make sure they quantify that. Again, in the Capitalize Your Best program, we promise if you go through the program, a guaranteed return of your investment. You're going to make more money than you spent on the program by working with us. And then we go through to ensure to make sure that's going to happen. What's the promise of the program you're working through? Are they promising you're going to lose 20 pounds? Are they going to promise you're going to gain 5 clients? Are they going to promise you're going to get 25 leads? Are they promise you're going to make $12,000? Make sure they are specific with it. And if you can't get a specificity out of it, don't go with it. My encouragement is to make sure you have at least 3 of those. The reason I say that is the time frame thing is often kind of give and take. Some folks can work with a time frame, they can't, some don't. But I really make sure you know exactly what you're going to get. I encourage you to understand the timeline. I definitely encourage you to have a one-on-one coach and understand what the promised ROI is. So guys, I hope this is helpful. This will give you a guideline as you consider making investments here at the end of the year, and especially as you make investments heading into 2024. I can't wait to see what you accomplish with your coaching. I would be honored to work with you in a coaching capacity. And if you'd like to work with me, just reach out to me, grab me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. You can find me at Gordon Duncan or at Capitalize Marketing. I'm glad to help you. And friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode. I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.